Tonight on The South Today, a wintry blast brings chilling rain across the south while snow closes some mountain passes. Some Dunedin school students get a special class in ball handling skills from a group of All Blacks. And a Queenstown dog owner credits community help for raising a large litter of orphaned puppies. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Dave Gooselink. Snow has closed roads across the south, prompting more warnings for motorists as a wintry blast makes its way through. Only one ski field in the region was open today, with reports of blizzard conditions at the tops of some ski areas.
Cromwell and other areas of the Central Lakes region, such as Wanaka, woke up to a winter wonderland this morning, with up to 5 centimetres of snow settling in some places. The Lindis Pass, Crown Range Road and Haast Pass were all closed this morning, with Haast Pass remaining closed into the afternoon due to heavy snow and fallen trees. Snow also forced the closure of several ski fields. Cardrona Alpine Resort, the Remarkables, Treble Cone and the Snow Farms were all closed. Cardrona reported blizzard conditions and 120 km/h winds at the summit. Coronet Peak was the only ski field open, with all vehicles having to carry chains. With more snow forecast for Saturday, Waka Kotahi NZ Transport Agency is urging motorists in the lower South Island to carry chains, as many of the roads are covered in ice and snow, particularly on alpine passes. Across the regions, The South Today.
Air New Zealand is warning passengers over the school holidays to prepare for potential disruptions and flight changes. The airline says staff sickness and bad weather could disrupt holiday plans for some travellers. Air New Zealand's expecting more than 670,000 passengers to fly with them over the next fortnight. Travellers flying with Air New Zealand are advised to check their travel alerts and airport schedules before heading to their flights. Newly named All Black Folau Fakatava was among squad members giving ball handling classes at a Dunedin school this morning. The sessions were supposed to be held outside, but Dunedin's Arctic blast meant the school hall at Balmacewen Intermediate came in very handy.
Running around inside a roomy school hall in winter might be a good warm-up to playing inside a covered stadium tomorrow night. It was a handy replacement location for the All Blacks' scheduled ball handling session this morning at Balmacewen Intermediate. Auckland's Angus Ta'avao has been named on the bench for Saturday's match and is looking forward to the sound of the sellout crowd.
Yeah, it was awesome, sold out Eden Park last week, and I know when you come down and play at Forsyth Bar, that sound it's crazy, you know, so looking forward to a packed out stadium and those new seats in there and just see what the vibe is.
And hearing happy sounds echoing around will be a familiar sound to Ta'avao after today's session in the school hall.
Doesn't mean anything if we don't back that up this week. We know Ireland's going to be chomping at the bit to get back up there and put on a good performance, and we want to be better than we were last week. So just relishing, tomato relishing everything I can,
Young fan Oliver Scholthal was looking forward to meeting some of the team, but admits one of the stars' faces is quite familiar to him.
Aaron Smith lives close to me, so I see him around sometimes, but no, not really.
Having some of the All Blacks visit ahead of game day was a buzz for Aurel Winkelman, who's also looking forward to taking to a rugby field tomorrow.
I love rugby. I play on Saturdays, and I've got one actually on Saturday tomorrow as well.
But it's her brother who has a season pass to the rugby, so he'll be watching the game live at Forsyth Bar Stadium on Saturday night, while she'll be at home. After their training session, the pupils got to ask a few non-rugby related questions. Ta'avao asked what sort of housework he prefers.
Ooh, I've got a plug-in vacuum, a battery vacuum, so I 100% do that because it's easier.
All Blacks fans will be hoping Ta'avao leaves his sucking at home on Saturday night. In Dunedin, The South Today.
A large family of orphaned puppies has been hand-raised by a Queenstown man with the help of the local community. The litter's owner, John Stevens, has had a lot of help from vets through to keen neighbours, all willing to donate hours of their time to help out.
Puppy galore in Queenstown. This litter of 10 puppies has been hand-reared since they were born 6 weeks ago. The mother of the pups, a golden Labrador named Lily, sadly died while giving birth via caesarean. That left the little dogs orphaned, leaving it up to owner John Stevens to take care of them. And he admits losing his long-time companion was a jarring experience.
It went from pure elation of having 12 or 11 pups to pure devastation, just thinking, oh my goodness, what are we going to do without the mum? We need the mum, we don't have any, we can't feed them. Well, we didn't know what to do.
One pup got stuck in Lily's birth canal, which was later stillborn. Unfortunately, Lily didn't wake up from anaesthesia, leaving Stevens and his family with 11 tiny pups, although one died a few days after the birth. Taking over the full-time job of raising the pups was a big challenge, made easier thanks to members of the local community putting in a massive amount of effort to help the family. Volunteers came in to help out, and Stephen says he was grateful to have so many dog lovers chipping in with support.
There's a good 20 people, could even be more, with all the vet nurses and the vets. Nikki the vet took them at her place for a night. The vet nurses, a couple of the vet nurses did 2 shifts. They all put their hand up to do a shift.
Stevens now wants to see the community raised pups going to good homes. He's been asking questions of potential buyers on how they plan to raise them. And he hopes to build a small community between members of the young doggy family, with plans to hold a reunion next year with all of the 1-year-old pups and their new owners. In Queenstown, The South Today.
Whai Akine, still to come on The South Today. The Midwinter Carnival prepares to head indoors in Dunedin, and school students from Dunedin and Christchurch shine on the stage.
Living Well Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
Hi, we're Age Concern Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including Little Box.
Get into bed with John. My mate John wants you to get into bed this weekend. He's having a massive bed sale with 20 to 75% off his entire range of beds and mattresses. John and his team of sleep specialists will find your perfect mattress match and get you sleeping soundly at a price you only dreamed. Get into bed with John. 20 to 75% off all beds, plus 18 months interest free.
Where did you get that furniture from? Stafford Street. And my mate John.
Every day the team at Gillian supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
Welcome back. Dunedin's Midwinter Carnival is still set to go ahead tonight and on Saturday night. However, some of the features of the festival have had to be trimmed down due to the bad weather. This year's lantern procession has been cancelled due to the expected rain. The procession had been moved from its traditional octagon circuit here to one alongside First Church. However, the remainder of the carnival's events, including the food truck, night markets and lantern displays, will go ahead as planned, with some moved under shelter. Projections of evolving colours and shapes will shine onto the sides of First Church and neighbouring Burns Hall on both nights from 6:30 until late. Rain in Dunedin is forecast to ease this evening, the Saturday night to be drier but breezy. A large team of pupils from Dunedin's St Hilda's Collegiate School have won a regional stage performance competition. The school's been named regional winner of the Show Quest, with their entry now set to compete in the national finals.
As the girl was lost to the sea by her own a breeze.
Telling the Maori myth of the Earth's creation through dance. This group from St Hilda's Collegiate School in Dunedin have been named regional winners of the nationwide performing arts competition called Show Quest. Year 13 pupil Olivia Wilkinson is delighted with their success and says after putting the show together over just 6 weeks, they weren't necessarily expecting to win.
We weren't really thinking about placings or anything because you know, we were just happy to have it on stage, and we hadn't done this in a while, so yeah, it was just a cool thing to do again for the school.
Due to COVID-19, the regional heats of this year's ShowQuest competition saw schools sending in videos of their performances with a range of stories being told. Tamisha Adebowale says she's a big fan of Greek mythology and she wanted to tell the Maori equivalent of ancient goddesses such as Aphrodite.
When the world scorched our skin, we simply bared our teeth against the burn. Our wings grew gilded above the hands of Moana, and delicate dreams were left in her wake.
We wanted to tell a story that's not been told before. And so we decided to go with Papatūānuku and Hine Moana because those are stories that have not been told before and people don't talk about them as much as they do, you know, Greeks.
She says their winning performance was the result of weeks of hard work by about 50 pupils.
I appreciate the performers and everyone on stage because we can be the leaders, but if there's no one else that wants to do the performance, we don't have anything to present. So I'm very grateful to everyone that danced, performed, acted on stage.
The recorded performance of St Hilda's is now set to be considered by judges as part of the national finals. In Dunedin, the South Today.
A new theatre company is giving young people in Christchurch the chance to experience performing arts. Lumineers Charitable Trust is in full rehearsal mode for their first production, a youth version of the Monty Python musical Spamalot.
Galloping coconuts, brave knights, ladies of the lake and of course the dashing King Arthur. This is Spamalot, a hilarious and ridiculous musical lovingly ripped off from the classic film Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
The knights of the round table, round table, round table, round table.
However, this is the official youth version. A special 1-hour edition of the hit Broadway show called Spamalot Young at Part. It's the first production from the recently formed Lumineers Charitable Trust. It's the brainchild of Frank Bowl, who saw the need for a platform where children can develop their skills in the performing arts and participate in professional productions.
In this story, the search for the Holy Grail ends up telling the story of searching for that thing that makes you whole. And so that seemed like exactly the right thing to kick off Lumineers with, because that's what we're all about. Finding that thing that rocks your world.
She believes that performing arts can help bolster a child's creativity, self-confidence and self-discipline.
It's got a lot of little featured moments for kids. So there's times where they may not have much of a speaking role, but then they get to sing a solo line all by themselves.
60 children, including understudies and 2 separate casts, are learning about performing on stage, along with backstage aspects like lighting, sound, costumes and stage management.
We've got a wide range of young people involved from 8 to 19, and so of course the older ones support the younger ones, and alongside that, just feeling good about yourself. So important these days. There's so much to not feel good about for our young kids that to have something where they literally get applauded is pretty special. It's pretty special.
Rehearsals are in full swing at the Addington School Hall as the cast prepare for their first performance at Aira's NASDA Theatre next Wednesday. In Christchurch, the South Today.
More than 100 people checked out the opening of this year's Riversdale Mixed Media Exhibition near Gore. The show has grown in stature each year and now attracts artists from across the country submitting their creative works.
There was strong interest in this year's Riversdale Mixed Media Exhibition, which recently opened near Gore. The show attracts a mix of local and national artists, and this year's guest artist is Tanith Norton of Christchurch, whose luminous circles are jewellery sewn into cloth fabric.
A couple of years ago I went through true heartbreak, and I ended up getting out all the most beautiful things that I had collected over the years, and I laid them on the floor and I was enjoying the beauty. I ended up picking up a piece of fabric and a needle and thread, and I started stitching, and I haven't stopped.
Another artist who was initially inspired by a personal experience is Zoe Dale from Balfour, who uses pressed flowers to make pictures.
I spent most of my maternity leave pressing flowers and just got obsessed with it and really worried that the winter was going to take all the florals away, so I pressed and pressed and pressed, and I started making these for friends when they had babies, and I did lots for Christmas presents.
The annual show's now in its 49th year, and Dale says she was drawn to exhibiting at the show thanks to happy childhood memories.
My dad did this years and years ago, and I loved it as a child, so I really wanted to be part of it.
And this year's show is already inspiring a new generation of budding artists.
I enjoy this painting because it's bright, happy and colourful. I like how friendly it looks.
The Riversdale Mixed Media Exhibition runs at the town's community centre until Sunday. In Riversdale, the South Today.
FIRKNA after the break on the South Today. Irish rugby fans hope they'll still be smiling after tomorrow's second test in Dunedin and prepare to wrap up warm for a pretty miserable weekend.
Drop when you every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
Evening, I'm from the Parks Department. Have you got a permit for that fire?
Being a big softie takes training. I've gone to great lengths to be super soft while still being strong and reliable. So I'm soft on you and soft on the environment.
Cotton Soft, proud sponsor of Bowel Cancer New Zealand. A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Get into bed with John. My mate John wants you to get into bed this weekend. He's having a massive bed sale with 20 to 75% off his entire range of beds and mattresses.
And my mate John.
Welcome back. Saturday's All Blacks versus Ireland rugby match is a must-win affair for the visitors. All Blacks coach Ian Foster believes the Irish will have their pride on, while the Irish need to win to remain in contention in the three-match series.
It's a year since the All Blacks last played under the roof at Forsyth Bar Stadium, easily beating Fiji. Tomorrow night they'll face an Irish team looking for revenge after their first test loss, with both sides planning a fast and flowing game in Dunedin.
It's a hard ground under a roof. Expect the game to be fast.
It's always quick. When we've been there in the past, I think I've coached a good few times now, and it's always been quick, and the atmosphere is fantastic, you know.
All Blacks coach Ian Foster would have preferred to stick with the lineup which posted the impressive 42-19 win in the first test last weekend. But injuries and illness meant Sam Whitelock, Tupou Va'ai and Josh Lord aren't available tomorrow night. COVID-19 also meant Will Jordan missed the first test, but he's now fighting fit after finding out the players aren't immune to the virus, as they joked about.
Yeah, the boys are sort of joking around that we might have been immune to it, which turns out we weren't, but yeah, exactly, jinxed ourselves.
Regardless of which 15 players take the field and who starts off the bench, Foster knows the Irish will be as hungry as the Kiwis are for the win.
We know how much they want it. We saw that last Saturday, so we know they're going to be desperate to keep the series alive. And so we've got a pretty clear, we shouldn't be surprised that we're going to have to get it go up and progress.
Foster's thankful to have a depth of talent to call on and the flexibility of the players. Irish coach Sir Andy Farrell knows the replacement All Blacks will have something to prove on the hard and fast track under the roof.
Just a strong, debatable. I mean, you talk about a fast track. You put Barrett into the second row, it becomes a little bit faster, doesn't it? So, look, like I've said to you before, they could pick four sides and they'd all compete against each other, I'm sure.
Tickets for the second match of the three-test series sold out this week, with more than 28,000 people set to fill Forsyth Bar Stadium on Saturday night. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. A wintry blast brings rain across the south while snow closes some mountain passes, and Waka Kotahi is advising caution on the roads this weekend. Some Dunedin school students get a special class in ball handling skills with a group of All Blacks visiting Balmacewen Intermediate this morning. And a Queenstown dog owner has thanked the community for helping raise a large litter of orphaned puppies after their Golden Labrador mother died while giving birth. Now taking a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Craig Page.
Good evening. All about the All Blacks and Irish, of course, in tomorrow's paper. Plenty of coverage there, as you can imagine. Yeah, the weather's put a bit of a dampener on the lead up today, the pre-match celebrations, but we've been out catching up with a few hardy souls, enjoying the festivities this evening.
There were some outdoors?
Yeah, not so much outdoors, only for cigarette breaks, I think. Most of them sitting next to the heaters and a pint in their hand. And we also look at the match at Southwick, of course, talk to some key players in that, and hopefully the All Blacks take that unassailable lead in the series. Also tonight, the Winter Carnival, first of two nights this year, but changes again, and a change of venue as well from the Octagon through to the First Church. So we'll be up there, and hopefully some spectacular photos to have a look at tomorrow. Some good news for Otago construction company Calder Stewart. It's been awarded the contract to rebuild the Hillside Workshops.
Oh, that'll be a big contract.
Yeah, $100 million up for grabs there, so good to see it going local. They're due to get started, I think, by the end of this year and hope to have it completed by 2024, so yeah, good effort there. And finally in our weekend mix, we look at the changing face of school balls. Yeah, they have changed a lot. Having a daughter that's gone through it, it can be an expensive exercise for a parent, I can tell you that. We talked to former Dunedin South MP Claire Curran, and she talks about her memories of going to school ball in the 1970s and being involved in that. We also chat to the local principals now about the challenges, of course. Lots of difficulties with after-school parties, all those sorts of things as well. So, yeah, a good read and well worth a look.
I'm sure the fashions have changed since Claire Curran's days.
They certainly have, but less clothing involved now.
Thanks, Craig Page.
Thank you.
Now time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Looking at the situation, and it's a very cold and windy weekend ahead with rain and showers tomorrow, but mostly dry weather on Sunday. Heading to the top of the South Island, showers in Nelson with gusty westerlies dying out in the evening and a high of 15 degrees. Rain with heavy falls clearing over the day in Greymouth with a high of 14. And for Christchurch, fine with light winds, rain from around midday and a high of 14. To our southern towns now, southeasterly gales and showers across the region here. Expect 7 degrees in Balclutha, Lumsden, Gore and the Catlins. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes, strong southeasterlies and snow showers in Queenstown and Wanaka with chilly highs of 4 and 5 degrees. Southeasterlies and rain in Alexandra with 6 degrees, while Te Anau can expect gusty easterlies and showers clearing, also 6 degrees. To the northern towns next, Timaru and Oamaru should wrap up for strong southerlies and rain with highs of 8 degrees. Twizel and Amarama face strong southeasterlies and snow showers. Stay indoors with just 5 degrees forecast there. Down to Dunedin for test weekend, rain tonight with gustily northeasterlies and apparently a low of just 8 degrees. Tomorrow rain at first with a change to strong cold southerlies, then easing to showers during the afternoon, though those showers should clear tomorrow evening by game time with winds decreasing, a low of 6 and a high of 8. And for Sunday it'll be mostly cloudy but dry with more cold temperatures, moderate southwest winds, a low of 5 and a high of 8 degrees. And finally at Invercargill, periods of rain tonight and strong winds with a low of 8. Rain at first tomorrow, easing to showers and clearing late in the day. Strong southerly winds could be near gale force at times there, a low of 8 degrees and a high of 10. And on Sunday, cloudy and cold with southeasterly winds decreasing during the day. The temperature gauge will barely budge, not what you see there, but it will barely budge from 7 degrees on Sunday. And that's the news this Friday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Hei rō, nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.